start your journey as early as you can. Like, really just fucking take the leap as early as you can. Do it today if you can, do it tomorrow if you have to, but start as early as you can, because time really is the biggest compounding factor, and you cannot make that back up. Like, time is a resource that you cannot buy, that is given to you by the universe, God, whatever you want to call it. You cannot get it back. You cannot create it, so you're fucked if you lose time. And starting early is the biggest thing, key to success. I've realized that my journey, I've made tons of mistakes, okay, and I'm not the kind of guy that has done anything perfectly. Far from it. In fact, I've done one thing good and then 10 things wrong and then like 12 things right and then 15 things wrong. Just chaos, just absolute fucking chaos, like here, there, like all sorts of bullshit, right? But 5 years in, I'm like, holy shit, I've come so much further than like if I hadn't. And I'm so glad that I did it at 22. I started, even though like I did everything wrong, even though like it was not strategic, even though I didn't have savings and all these things. I just started at 22, 21. By now 27, I'm already ahead. Like, I'm ahead of like vast majority of people, right? And I just figured things out as I went. The habits that I needed to pick up, I picked up. The habits that I needed to drop, I dropped. The failures that I had to have, I had. The successes I had to have, I had. Like, all of it just comes and goes. And this would have happened if I had, instead of starting at 21, I had started at 15. By 19, I would be like in the stage that I am today, except I would be like 8, 9 years ahead, you know? Like, that's insane. That's a fucking decade. One decade's advantage is crazy. And that's the thing I noticed, like all the famous guys today, like Logan Paul, Jake Paul, Iman, like all the like the 10 million followers, 15 million followers level guys. These guys all started YouTube channels at like 14. So that's like a decade of putting out content, right? If you look at Warren Buffett and all these guys, Elon, they all started reading and like investing at like 14. So, and Charlie Munger said this thing about Warren. It's like the reason Warren is richer is because he started earlier, and compounding, like investing money and shit, you can't beat that. It's the same thing in business. I've noticed like so many people talk about this online as well. It's that it's just a matter of time until you figure things out. As long as you don't quit, right? Like, if you quit, then you're fucked. You're game over, right? But if you don't quit, like quit on your dream. You can quit on a business. You can quit on certain people. You can quit on a lot of things. As long as you don't quit on yourself, like your dream, and you're like, okay, I'll try this thing. I'll try another thing. I'll try another thing. But I'm gonna be successful if you keep going in that direction. It's just a matter of time. So the more time you can get in your favor, the better. Like, that's it's quite simple, right? uh, Me personally, I wanted to start a YouTube channel, which I have started now at the age of 27. I wanted to start this at 15 when I was in 10th grade. I used to talk to one of my friends. We used to play Black Ops 2. I was a fat fucking chubby kid. I would drink 1 liter of milk and I would be like, hop, hop, hop. I'd be playing, and I was really good. I remember like we'd play Nuketown and shit, and I would be telling him like, yeah, I want to start a YouTube channel. At that time, I used to watch these guys called Rad Brad Gaming and Vanos Gaming, and I would be like, I really want to like play the game like Uncharted, Last of Us, Uncharted, all these games that I used to play, and I was really good. Like in Uncharted, Uncharted 4, I think it was, yeah, Uncharted 4 online and stuff. In like TDM, I was like top 2% in the world and shit, and I would whoop ass. And even like The Last of Us, when we used to play, like I had this, I would always be making jokes and narrating it, and I used to notice how other people used to play, and they used to move the screen too fast, but I used to like do it in like a very cinematic way. So I always felt like I was doing it in a very watchable, like a good, like a something somebody would like to enjoy, even if they were sitting beside me. And I loved playing story games and I loved games, right? And I wanted to start this YouTube channel because I wanted to like talk and narrate over the gaming, like the Rad Brad, Vanos, and all these guys. And I remember, like, as the years went by, I would see these guys at like 1 million subscribers. The next year, I'd still be dreaming about having this channel, and they'd be 10 million subscribers. And then the next year, I'd be watching, and these guys would be like 15 million subscribers. And I'm like, what the fuck, right? Like, it's going by and it's going by. Eventually, that dream died. And then in 2017, I think that's 2012 was my 15-year-old. So like around 4 years later, I had the dream for like Shopify and like e-commerce brand and like a real business. And then I suppressed that also. And then like 2 years later, I started. And that's what you call a call to adventure on your hero's journey, right? But what if I had started this at 15? Like 12 years. 12 years, bro. That's fucking insane. That's more than a decade in the game. I would today would be literally one of the most famous like YouTubers on the planet. Like without a doubt, I would 100% be one of the most famous YouTubers on the planet. But the other side of that is because I didn't start until 2017 and 2019. I had ended up hating my life so much and like becoming so fucking miserable that once I actually took the leap of faith, I had so much like pent up like energy and like such a pain point that I was running away from. And I'm like, fuck, I'm never being such a loser in my life. I can't be like this and I need to change. That I knew that I wouldn't quit. I knew that like I'm going the distance, you know. So everything kind of I guess has its own time. Like everybody's story is different. But I still think like I'm like, what if I had taken that call, like the YouTube thing, all the enemies and allies and the mentors and this and that, all the things would have been like in some other form, and I would have been in another timeline, right? So like I would be maybe a multimillionaire today. Maybe I would have like started a YouTube channel, it would have failed and permanently wiped me out. I don't know. You don't know. But assuming things would have gone well, I would be decade or more ahead, and I would be like the top people in the space today. So that's this video. Just start whatever it is that you want to start and try to pick an what do you call a compounding thing, like an iterated game, I think it's called. Basically what that means is it's something you can do daily and you can do for a very long term till like ideally for the rest of your life. For example, a YouTube channel. You know YouTube is not going to go anywhere as a company. You know content in social media is big. You know it's important. You know it's useful. And you know you can make a video every day or every few days or a week, whatever, right? You can do it consistently. And that as you put out more videos, each video gets more views, each new video brings you more subscribers and more viewers, and it's like growing and growing and growing. Instead of like, whereas you work a job, for example, you go into the job, it doesn't matter if you work 12 hours or 14 hours, you get the same salary. It doesn't matter if you do an exceptionally good job or like somewhat of a medium job, you still get the same salary. Obviously you might get promoted and you might get incentives and all these things, but for the most part it's the same, right? But these kind of things, like if you go to the gym every day and you build it, you're only going to get healthier and healthier and healthier. And like obviously there's a limit, but it's like your own body, right, that translates into everything else. So you want to do those things and you want to start them as early as possible. So like starting your business, starting your first business, the earlier you start your first business, the faster you can fucking fail, because nobody succeeds in the first business. I don't think anybody does. I genuinely don't think anybody does. Maybe like one person in the world has. Starting your first YouTube channel, starting gym, starting I don't know, something, right? Like whatever it is, start early, and the earlier you start, the better. Because if you just give it 1 decade from the day you start without quitting and just constantly figuring things out and improving, being flexible, you'll fucking win. And by the end of that decade, you'll be like a beast. When I had the idea to start my like YouTube channel at around 14, 15, I also at that time I used to flip like mobile phones and like I used to do all these little hustles, and I had saved up a lot of money, and I like used that money to like pay for college a little bit for 1 year, and like buy some stuff and like just a bunch of dumb shit. But what if I had started investing, like just index index funds or this or that, something. At that point, I had books like Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad Poor Dad, Shoe Dog. These three books specifically, I know I had at that point. Had I read, and I had those books for since 14 years old, and I didn't read them until like 24. Like never even like read it once until like 24 years old. What the fuck? Like, had I read Think and Grow Rich at 14 and Rich Dad Poor Dad at 14, and like any one of those books, if I had read them fully, I remember I had read Rich Dad Poor Dad halfway through and I left it because I was such a quitter. You know, I was such a quitter at that point that even that fucking book I couldn't finish. I used to read like Secret Seven novels and shit, but I just didn't care. I guess I don't know what the fuck was wrong with me. I was brain dead, but if you can just like start as early as you can, bro, just start as early as you can. I can't imagine like me like if I had started reading at 14 and investing at 14 and had started that YouTube channel at 14, I would literally be like worth 100 million today. Like I genuinely, because I would be having a personal brand, I would be having read books today, and I would have like fucking money compounding, and money compounding of like 100, almost like 50 to 100,000 dirhams, which is like, I don't know what the dollars is, like 20,000, $30,000, right? Like 50,000 plus easy, like around 80,000, let's say. That's insane, bro. That's fucking insane. And I fucking like screwed all that shit up. You know, I screwed all that up. So, yeah, like I can't change that now. But I'm already on the right path. Like I've been in the past 5 years, and financially, I'm still like, I've got all the skills. This year, I'll become a millionaire. I'll start saving the money. I'll start investing it, and I'll go from there, right? But like, had I done it from 14, 15, where would I be? Who would I be? You know, you can ask yourself the same thing. How many books do you have in your cupboard or in your home that you could have read that you never did? Like, you know that one book that's there that you know you want to read, kind of, but you never did it. How much money have you saved that you never bought that stock or that investing that you wanted to start because you're just scared? Or that YouTube channel, or that Twitter account, or that TikTok page, or something, or going to the gym, or asking that girl out. There's something that you know you want to do that you could have done, that you should have done, but you didn't do it. Stop that bullshit. Stop living life like a fucking spectator and sitting in the same spot and every year seeing people get far. It's the most like fucking horrible thing on the fucking planet, because I know, because I was there sitting and watching like these YouTube channels that I used to watch, and I'm like, I wanted a YouTube channel, and I saw this guy go from 100k to 1 million to 2 million to 5 million to 10 million, and I literally watched for years as a spectator until I finally was like, you know what, fuck this, I'm starting my own business, and like all that shit, you know. So, and then I had like abandoned this whole YouTube channel thing until like last year, and then I'm like, okay, this personal brand thing, like everything connects, makes sense now. But but and that's the thing, because I started my hero's journey, like the other thing, the business side, now it came back, like because being in this YouTube channel and doing this thing, it's all part of my destiny. That time it was about gaming or whatever, but if I had started that gaming YouTube channel, maybe by today, 10 years into that, I would be like, you know what, guys, I'm done with this gaming stuff. Now I'm gonna do like other stuff. I would have probably, because me being me, you know, I would mature and all these different things. So things will fall into place, no matter like what's meant for you is always meant for you. It always is. And you can't like ruin like God's plan or the universe's plan for you. No, God always factors your stupidity into it. It's there. But that doesn't mean that you can't do your best to to find the absolute best God's plans variation for you. Like he has like 100 variations, and it's like you can have the best one, but if you're a lazy fuck, you'll get like the worst one. If you're a lazy dumb fuck, you'll get even worse one, you know? So Don't be a lazy dumb fuck. Don't be lazy. Don't be dumb. Start today and fucking just be delusional.